Hey, I'm Neil, and I've got another website microtrend to go over, and this is all about collections. We're going to do this in two parts. In part one, we're going to look at websites like this one, the Black Music History Library, which reference Finder if you're on a Mac or File Explorer if you're on a Windows, these sort of file directory collection views. Okay, so let's get into it. So we have these stylized file folders, just like Finder, but a little bit more stylized. If I click into any of them, I get a collection of information, books and articles in this case. And so one of the patterns that we'll look at here is that the interior pages are less stylized, they're more standard, while the collection view, the main outer page, which sort of serves as the entrance to the information, has that stylized collection view. So all of the cards, all of the file folders here are static. Let's look at another example. This is the Borderlands Archive, which is the same basic concept, these stylized file folders, but they're draggable. And so if you remember the video that I made on draggable UI elements or draggable cards, anytime you have draggable elements like this, in my opinion, it references operating systems, like it references those OS patterns to make the website feel more like an OS and less like a website. So just like the Black Music History Library, if I click into one of these file folders, it's standard layout, static content, so it's really just the collection view that is stylized like this. Okay, here's another example that's a different design approach. It's more like this, Web 1, early web aesthetic. What's a little bit different is that there's actually subfolders here. It's not just the main collection view, but same basic concept, just different design treatment. And then finally, Oklahoma, Kendrick Lamar. Just one file folder, again, serving as an entrance to the website. I click into it and then I get the statement about a hopeful album. Okay, so that's part one. That's about using file directory patterns to show collections. Here's part two, and we're going to look at a few different ways to do this, maybe stylizing them a little bit more while keeping the same basic idea. So if you think about it, like why someone might use this file directory pattern to show a collection, it's all about consistency and simplicity. Like how do I take a collection of different information and present it consistently with a very simple design approach? So here's another way of doing that. This is Books on Graphic Design, and this is a collection of books on graphic design. Now this website actually doesn't have interior pages, so all of these will open outlinks like other websites in a new tab. And so it's the same basic approach, but rather than file folders, they're these sort of stylized, like 2.5D, like 2D, 3D books. Okay, let's look at another way of doing this. This is Typelist by Upstatement. Upstatement's an agency, and this is a website where they curated like some of their favorite typefaces into themes. So let's see, like Sega Genesis. This is a collection of typefaces that all match the Sega Genesis theme. So again, the collection layer, the presentation view for the collection, is this consistent, simple view like CDs. Here's another one, takeout bags, and the interior page is a little bit more static. Let's look at one more way of doing this. This is from Stripe Press. So this is a collection of books from Stripe Press, and as I'm scrolling through this list, it's this 3D stack of books. Okay, so very similar to Books on Graphic Design, but 3D. What's really cool is that if I click into any of these books are actually interactive 3D models. So I can drag around with my cursor. Now that I'm in the interior view, I can also scroll through the list of books, and all of these are, draggable. So again, we have this idea of consistency and simplicity, consistent presentation of the books, with the main collection view having that, this is sort of like a 3D interpretation of Finder in a way. If you're curious as to how they did this, they wrote a little bit of information on their design Instagram about this. This is their internal tool for creating the 3D book models. It's using WebGL, which is basically how you do 3D for the web. And then up top here is a GUI. Specifically, it's called DAT GUI, D-A-T-G-U-I, and it's sort of like a UI control layer for the 3D model. So pretty cool. And these are all different ways, coming back to the first example, here's a very 2D, more expected, more traditional presentation, and here's a more 3D, more unexpected view, but it's the same basic idea, presenting collections consistently.